how you doing? Welcome to this video, which is sponsored by my beautiful wife. She says that if I can have a productive day today and get a video recorded and up on the Tinterweb, I can have some cake. So in the interest of cake, we shall continue. Today I want to show you my brand new bag, but before I do that, I want to talk about bags in general. So when you're doing living history and reenactment events, bags are really useful, whether you've got lots of living history equipment that you want to cart about and keep all together, or if you've got modern things that you want to keep. So I mean, I've got like keys, phone, wallet, sometimes with money in it, sometimes not. I've got usually flyers and business cards, card reader, and also, you know, when you've got kids and stuff, you're out and about, you do events, you don't have pockets, kids like to put rubbish in your bag too. So bags are really useful for all the family. And they're much better than, say, something like a pouch. Early medieval pouches are really quite small. I'd struggle to fit my car keys in an early medieval pouch, let alone anything else. So we, after a few years in reenactment, we kind of made our first bags to keep our stuff in. So we made these out of leftover linen from our tent. I've got one, my beautiful wife's got one, and yeah, we saw other people with them and we thought, well, they must be all right. But after a while I wanted to see kind of, you know, what the evidence was. I became quite conscious of evidence, and I thought, well, I want to be able to say this is based on such and such if someone asks, right down to the bags. So the first of evidence that I became aware of for bags were in illustrations. So the bias tapestry is not technically an illustration, it's not technically a tapestry either, but on the bias tapestry there is a chap who's, pardon me, drawing along a horse with a plough, and at his hip he's throwing out, pardon me again, seeds. So that's a domestic context at the end of the period. My other favourite one is from the Papal Stone on Shetland, and there's a clergyman there, there's a row of clergymen, I think about 3 of them next to a cross, and one of them has a rectangular bag that's kind of the same size, shape and dimensions as the one on the bias tapestry too. There are other illustrations, those just happen to be my 2 favourites. Then I started looking into more evidence, and I found evidence of leather bags. And at first I kind of thought there were 2, and then I found out there were actually more than that. So the first one that I became aware of was the one this one's based on, which is in the National Museum of Ireland in Dublin, and it's from there. I apologise to Irish viewers, but you really would rather I held this up rather than murder your pronunciation. I can't work out how to do those vowels. If someone wants to tell me, please do, because I'd love to not have to just hold the sign up or kind of go, which is what I currently do. So there's that one, and there's another one in the NMI. I'm not sure if the other one on display is, but I'm fairly certain it's the Armagh bag, which has got a lock on the front of it, a lock mechanism. And then there was another one from Fishamble Street in Dublin, which dates about the 10th century. The other 2 Irish ones are from the 8th to 9th century. And they're all, at least the Armagh one and this one, are tooled. But there is another one in Britain, and that's from Corpus Christi College in Oxford. So we've got an example from Britain and 2 examples from Ireland. That's pretty good. That's also about 8th to 9th century, also quite heavily tooled like that. And then, yes, there's one more, the Loch Glashan bag. Now that's slightly earlier, 6th to 8th century. Instead of being kind of like sewn and stitched like that, it's actually held together with a thong and a lace, in much the same way that a lot of the earlier Viking age sheaths are made. Instead of kind of stitching them with linen, they use thonging and lace it. So the Loch Glashan bag is currently in the National, no it's not, it's in the Kelvin Grove Museum and Art Gallery in Glasgow. And if you want to see a reproduction of one, go to Pictavia Leather and have a look at Hamish's website. He makes beautiful reproductions of the Loch Glashan bag. And when all of this madness is going over, I want to take advantage of his workshops when they start up again, because you can pay some money for the materials and the prep time and everything, and you can go and sit with Hamish, and he'll walk you through making your own, which you can then walk away with, made from beautiful, hopefully deerskin. So I think that'll be ace, a nice deerskin one. So Um, that's 5, and I thought there were 2 a few years ago. So that's actually quite a lot of evidence. In addition to that, there are also kind of frames, bag frames, these things. A whole bunch of these were discovered in Hedeby, in the excavations at Hedeby. About 9 of them in total, all different shapes and sizes. So there's one like that, there's one like that. There's a slightly smaller, shorter one. It's got a flat top and some grooves carved in the top. There's 2 like that, and I think they're a matching pair because both of them had traces of sprang, and that's what kind of identified these or led to the interpretation of these as bag frames. Now sprang is basically, it's a form of kind of weaving, except you're really just twisting. There isn't a warp thread, a weft thread rather. It's just the warps going down and they're all twisted. And if you lose the tension at any point, they all go ding, and then there's much swearing and shouting. We had a lovely New Year or festive time last Christmas down with the Parsons in Lancashire, and the ladies were making sprang, and there were some choice words coming when there were some mistakes. But these, the sprang bag was still attached to, or the remnants of a sprang bag was still attached to 2 of these, which led to that interpretation. Pardon me. In addition, there's another one from Burka that's quite like this, except instead of these D-shaped holes, it's just got a series of holes just drilled into it. And there's another one from Hedeby like that too, actually, I believe. And there are also a couple from Viborg too. Now, like last year or something, I was going through the York woodworking book, and I discovered this thing here. And I've blown that up to actual size. This is find 9142, and it's made of ash. And that kind of really reminded me of that. And the other one quite similar that I mentioned that has a flat top and the grooves in the top. So I was like, right, okay. I think that might be one of these. So I've interpreted that as that. It could be something else entirely, but if I was a betting man, I would put money on it being a bag closure. So I made these out of ash just like the original. I've got a few of them in stock at the moment, but not this one. This one's mine. So this is my new bag. Now this isn't a sprang bag, and this is how strongly my wife feels about sprang. I made her a sprang loom last Christmas, or an upright loom from the Ossenberg ship, which she'll maybe get back to, but she would far rather gnarl bind an entire bag than attempt to do sprang. So she will at some point, I know she will. But she made this for me. I love it. I couldn't tell you what the breed of sheep is before anyone asks, but this is its natural colour. Oh, it still smells like sheep. I'm from rural Cumbria, so you'll have to forgive me. And even the strap has been made out of like gnarl-bound wool. So I really like this. It's made using the same stitch, the Coppergate stitch, the same stitch as the sock, which gives it this kind of like quite springy, almost elastic sort of feel. So it'll function a little bit like a sprang bag, except I probably won't lose quite so much stuff out of it. Now, I'm not really entirely sure what I'm going to put in this, but as this took many hours, I'm a little bit nervous about using it, but I'm gonna find something, or if anyone's got any suggestions about what I could carry around in this that wouldn't ruin it, I would be greatly appreciative. I think I might try and keep some apples in it, or some soft wool. I don't know. I might keep textiles in it. So there you go. That's my brand new bag. Absolutely love it. And yeah, sorry it took me about 9 minutes to explain that to you. But I think it's useful because quite often I think people aren't aware of how much evidence is out there if you look, and how easy it is to find sometimes, how you can just stumble across things, or even just ask the right person and they point you in the right direction, and you can discover a wealth of things that you didn't know. And that's one of the reasons that I really love the early medieval period, because there's always something new to find out, and it's really enriching. So that's that done, eh? By way of a little update, I had quite a lot of quite positive feedback after the last video that I put up. A lot of people sent me some private messages, which I really quite appreciated. Thank you very much. Just by way of an update, I'm actually going through the process of diagnosis at the moment. It's fairly certain that I've probably had ADHD all my life, and now I'm kind of getting to the age of 40. It was the first time I ever got full marks in a test, so I'm waiting on an official diagnosis, and I'll kind of like keep you updated. But for anyone that kind of knows me, or has kind of like spoken to me for more than 10 minutes, it probably won't come as that much of a surprise. So thank you to everyone that's been kind of supporting us through this. It hasn't been easy through COVID, and obviously COVID plus that isn't really going to be a good mix. If you're interested, I'll kind of keep you updated with how I'm doing. If not, then you can kind of like just stop before you get to the end of the videos. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Go along the website. Shop should be up soonish. And if you're about this weekend on the Sunday and you're looking for something to do on the Tinterweb, I recommend the Ancient and Old Market. It's something I do every year or twice a year. We're not able to have a Christmas one this year, obviously because of COVID. So it's moving online, and I'll tag it in the notes so you can kind of find it and find the events. But it's going to be on Sunday, so I'll hopefully see some of you there. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and take care.